welcome to the Billy Goat Industries Instagram session. We're here for day 2 of the ARA Convention 2020 in Orlando, Florida. My name is Randy Heller, and I'm the District Sales Manager for Billy Goat for the Northeast. You know, when people see our logo on my shirts, or on hats, or on the machines, they get excited and they laugh about it. They say, wow, that is so cool. What's a Billy Goat? Well, Billy Goat is a premier manufacturer of specific landscaping equipment for contractors and also for residential use. We've got a broad range of equipment. Down at one end, we've got overseeders and aerators. We've got augers. We've got sod cutter, overseeder, brush cutter, and then in the back we've got wheel blowers and vacuums. Today I want to specifically talk about the sod cutter and this 2501 reciprocating aerator. But before I do, I want to bring up one thing. If you have any questions for us, text us, message us, or come see us at booth 1065. We'll be here through midday tomorrow. Also, you can check us out on our website, billygoatindustries.com. There's great videos on there that shows our product in use. Also, there's parts manuals on there and videos on how to service a machine. Also, check us out on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, Facebook. All right, any of those ways you can reach us. So let's get started with this machine. This is a hydrostatic sod cutter. It's the SC181H. I want to show you some of the key features of this machine. Number one, I want you to notice the balance. This machine is centered right over the drive hub. And in addition to that, there is a freewheeling caster wheel on the back that you can lock in place. That balance and that caster wheel makes this a very maneuverable machine. On top of that, we've got a great transmission. Our hydrostatic machines all have the same transmission, from the auger to this aerator, to this side cutter, to this overseeder, to that brush cutter. And our hydro system works like this. The right hand is forward in speed control, variable speed. The left hand is reverse in speed control, variable speed. That means I could lead a 400-pound sod cutter by my fingertips down the ramps off the back of my truck. Always secure your ramps with safety straps if you're going to do that. Okay? Very maneuverable machine. Great transmission. It's variable speed, so there's no gears. The problem with gears is sometimes the first gear is too low and the second gear is too high. But with this machine, you can find the right speed to work at, and it varies sometimes every foot. Sometimes you're going to be in a sand surface and you're going to be whipping right through it, and then you hit a clay pocket and it just bogs down. You'll know because the RPMs are going to go way down on this. So since it's variable speed, you can just back off, wait till the RPMs come back up, and then re-engage. This is probably the best feature of this sod cutter. Some of the other sod cutters on the market have a very intricate system of setting up to do any sod cutting. You have to go through multiple steps. With this, there's only one step that you have to do. Open this lock up, drop it to where you want to go, and cinch it. Now you're ready to cut with it. We've got 5 different settings of depth settings that you can put a pin in there for, or you can do it any space in between by using that lock up. Once you've got that set, then you're going to engage the blade and we'll start cutting, and then engage the forward movement, okay? And when you do that, it will tunnel down and start moving through the ground, and you're able to steer easily with this caster rear wheel. We've got heavy duty rubber bushings on either side of the handlebar. Every person that uses this machine comments on how much less vibration gets transmitted back to the operator. It's something very exciting to me. A couple other things I want to point out. If you look down below at the drive hub, instead of knob tires on that, we've got braided cleats. And so what they do is they kick the sand and debris out of the tracks and give you better traction. Now, if you're a golf course user, you can buy that with a knob sole, and then that would be the SC181HG. But for all-purpose use, SC181 will give you that lug sole. It's a great feature. We use the same blade as our competition, but that blade is laser hard built. That means we get up to 3 times the lifespan out of that blade. When you're working in sand environments, especially, those blades tend to wear down fast. You're going to get longer blade life with our machine. Just to sum it up, this machine weighs 400 pounds, but it's fingertip control.
While we were doing that,
Quick adjustment to get cutting with it. Better traction on it. So a wonderful machine to use. All right, let's move over to this aerator. There are 2 kinds of aerators in the marketplace. There is a drum aerator in which the drum is dropped and the machine rolls forward and punches holes into the ground. With that kind of machine, you have to get the drum out of the ground in order to make your turn. And that's where the fun ends, because a lot of people can't stand getting that drum out of the ground because it's so hard work. So instead, they'll do a shoulder press, they'll do a jig it around and drop it and go. And that's every bit as much wear and tear. With these machines here, these are reciprocated. And if you look at this from above, this is a cam system that rather than rolling a drum with spikes on it into the ground, this mechanically drives the tines down into the ground. So that does 2 things. Number 1, you're gonna pull a better core out of harder ground, sometimes almost twice the depth as you'll get with a drum aerator. And number 2, it makes it easy to turn while you're aerating. You don't have to stop and get the drum out of the ground because there is no drum. So you're going to make tighter turns while you're aerating. You're going to get a deeper core. And the third thing is you've got a variable hole pattern. You're going to have patches of yard where the turf is good and you can move along at full speed. And then you're going to hit patches where the ground has been deeply compacted. You've had grub problems, drought problems, and you've got those dead patches. So you could either run over them multiple times with a drum aerator, or you could slow this machine down to maybe 3/4 of a mile to a half mile an hour, and it keeps punching at the same rate. So you're going to get a lot more holes. Those are the primary advantages. With this machine, we also have a weight the operator presence, it drops the tines and they start tining. So you want to make sure that you have the machine on the ground where you want to aerate, but that's how you activate it. Now the reason we did it like that is because now I come up on a sidewalk or a sprinkler head or a pipe vent, and I don't want to run over that and hit it with the tines. So by doing that, the tines will stop churning and you can drive forward and they just trail loosely over the ground. They're not going to scratch anything, they're not going to hurt anything. And then as soon as you get past that sidewalk, then you re-engage and they start churning again. And the whole time you can make those tight turns that we talked about. These swivel wheels on the back, or on the front, excuse me, make it so easy to turn, and you can lock those in place. So if I'm running across the slope, I've got one or both of them locked, and now I'm not fighting the machine because it wants to turn and run downhill. I'm going across the slope, and possibly at a slight angle up the slope. Now, when I get to the end of my job and I want to get the tines out of the ground, you just use this jack latch system. Doing that will raise the tines and then latch them in place. And again, I can drop them just that quickly and lock it. All right. You can get this machine with 2 different engines. Almost everything that we make at Billy Goat gives you an option of a Honda engine or a Vanguard engine. There's a lot of people who prefer Honda, but I'm telling you, there are some real advantages to the Vanguard, especially when you're doing work like aeration. That's a very high impact, high dust situation where I've had guys with other engine brands complain that they dust an engine every year because when it's hot and dry, all the hammering creates a lot of dust that's pulled through the engine. With the cyclonic air filter that's on the Vanguard, it's horizontal. It creates an airflow that goes around that and blows out some of the finer dust. Also, when I want to change that filter, it's horizontal, so I'm pulling it away from the intake, not up off of it, and I don't run the risk of dropping soot down into the intake. So, in conclusion, great hydro systems that make it fingertip control, forward and reverse, higher innovation, better ease of use for the operator, more efficiency, and we try to keep it in the same price range as the stuff that you're currently using. If you have any more questions about us, please message us. Please come by and see us again. ARA Day 3 tomorrow ends at noon, but we'll be in booth 1065. And then you can also message us, YouTube, LinkedIn, any number of different ways. Thank you very much for your time.